Every day, Teacher Joy would stand at the school gate, rigorously checking for tardy students. But there was one student named Jack who always arrived just as the bell rang. To the teacher, this seemed like an open challenge. One day, the teacher decided to teach Jack a lesson. As soon as the bell rang, he quickly closed the school gate. To his surprise, Jack came running with a bamboo pole. Judging by his posture, the teacher immediately guessed that Jack was planning to pole vault into the school. This made him so angry he developed a headache. Later, the teacher was wandering around the campus when he bumped into Jack and a few other misbehaving students gathered together. Just as he was about to catch them in the act, a puff of smoke rose, and he failed to catch them red-handed. Determined, the teacher decided to regain his dignity in the classroom. The next lesson was the boys and girls health class. The classroom was unusually quiet, with even the typically mischievous students sitting up straight. Jack appeared to be listening attentively, but on his desk were a glass of milk and a steel fork. The teacher suspected that Jack wasn't taking the class seriously. Soon after, Jack took out a plate of rice, and the teacher could no longer hold his frustration. It was clear that Jack treated the lesson like a side dish to his meal. The teacher, suppressing his anger, continued the lesson. As soon as Jack finished a bite of rice, the teacher snapped and finally let his anger show. But after the outburst, the teacher started to feel uneasy. He walked to the door to check on Jack, who was standing in the corner, but was frozen in shock. Jack was squatting down, feeding a dying sparrow. It turned out that Jack had intentionally angered the teacher so he could use the time in detention to care for the injured bird. The teacher watched the scene in shock and guilt, tears streaming down his face. He regretted wrongly accusing such a kind-hearted student. The next day, the teacher stood at the school gate again. When he saw Jack approaching, all he could think about was Jack feeding the sparrow. As Jack arrived right on time, the teacher, who was always punctual in closing the gate, paused for the first time and waited a few extra seconds. The open school gate seemed to silently convey an apology.